The first collaboration between Revive, the skateboard company, and MetaZoo recently hit the market, and already these boxes have more than tripled in price on secondary markets, despite the fact that they were available for a full 30 minutes during the initial MetaZoo sale. This video is going to talk about everything Revive MetaZoo. The cost, the print runs, what is the secret rare Mothman everyone's talking about, how does the redemption work, we're going to show the product, we're going to show what's in it. This is everything you need to know. Let's go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Argos Anonymous. I am Argos. If you have somehow stumbled across this channel from somewhere out there in the interweb, then consider joining us. Why not? We are everything MetaZoo. Up-to-date accurate news and information, product reviews, product analysis, openings, market shenanigans, ridiculous giveaways and games, Patreon stuff, Discord stuff, sales on argosanon.com, all kinds of random MetaZoo stuff. We are everything MetaZoo. If that sounds like something you would like, then subscribe, and that's what you'll get. The Revive MetaZoo collaboration product is very special in two specific ways. First, this is the first experimentation that MetaZoo has undertaken regarding redemption cards. Half of the cards printed in the MetaZoo Revive set are redeemable, meaning in this case, for this set, you can take the little gray box at the bottom of the card, scratch it off, there's a code underneath, you take a picture of that, you send it into MetaZoo, and in this case you get a skateboard out of it. In MetaZoo Revive, the boards are already paid for, they were included in the cost of the product. So if you buy an unredeemed Revive card, you do not have to then go buy the skateboard. The skateboard is paid for, you just pay the shipping, and you're gonna get a board with art corresponding to that card. So if you get a Frogman card, you're gonna get Frogman board. You get a Piazza Bird card, you're going to get a Piazza Bird board. The other half of the cards in the Revive MetaZoo print run are standard holographic MetaZoo cards. So it's sort of interesting, right? Like they basically took a print run and they just split it half and half between holographic redeemable cards and holographic standard or non-redeemable cards. Now, the second reason that the Revive MetaZoo, this first one, the Cryptonation Revive set, is special is not just that it features some of the hottest Cryptonation base set beasties that we saw, like Piazza Bird, Bade the Blue Ox, Hodag, Mothman, Sam Sinclair, all that kind of stuff. All the things we know from Kickstarter and first edition and second edition Cryptonation, they're in Revive, some of the hottest ones. But that's not it. No, sir. The reason the Cryptonation Revive collaboration is special is because it contains, at a secret rare level like Lotto card rarity, the final printing of the base set Cryptonation Mothman Winged Attack. Shock face? This card is already selling for over $2,000 or approximately $2,000 on secondary markets because people are starting to catch on to how desirable this Mothman can be. But before we dive too specifically into the details of this Mothman, let's talk about the print run and the card populations of the Revive MetaZoo Cryptonation set. There are three different rarities in the Revive MetaZoo set: common, uncommon, and rare. Of the common rarities, there are 5 different beasties. The 5 common cards are Bigfoot, Hodag, Piazza Bird, Jersey Devil, and the Metal Man of Alabama. Each of these cards were printed at a population of 300 of each redeemable card and 300 of each non-redeemable card. So in Revive, there are 600 of Bigfoot. 300 are redeemable for a skateboard and 300 are standard. And that's how the common cards work. For the uncommon cards in Revive, you get 150 of each per type. And those cards are Sam Sinclair, Frogman, and Babe the Big Bad Gorgeous Beautiful Big Blue Ox. So for those things, for Frogman, for example, as an uncommon Revive card, there's 150 of the standard Frogman, and then there's 150 redeemable. Think about this. What this means is that for just the common cards in Revive, those cards are more rare than the full holo Kickstarter version of that card. So this is an alternate art card more rare than the Kickstarter. And those are the commons. So an uncommon Revive card, take the Frogman, at a population of 300 is approximately 1/3 the population of the Kickstarter Frogman, of the full holo. That's insane. And then if you consider that a bunch of the redeemables are actually going to get redeemed, and if you consider the redeemable frogman its own subclass, now you're talking there's 150 of those, and that's to start. It's a crazy set, but it gets crazier because when you look at the rares, there's only 50. There's 50 of each. Of the rares in the Revive MetaZoo set, there is the Mothman, and there is the Unrefined Chaos Crystal, which I affectionately call the Chibi Chaos Crystal because it costs 0, it only has 10 life points, and it only gives you 1 aura of any type when you fatigue it instead of 3 like the Big Daddy Chaos Crystal of the original base set. But the Mothman is the Winged Attack Mothman, which is the original Mothman. It is the same as the Sample Mothman, the Kickstarter Mothman, the Dimac Mothman, first edition, second edition Mothman. This is it. But because it is reserve list, this is the last printing. It's the last printing there will ever be of the Winged Attack Mothman. And they only made 50 redeemable Mothmen and 50 of the non-redeemable. And that is the Revive set. Essentially, that's like a secret rare level rarity. That's like Old Scratch. There's 100 Old Scratch in all of Nightfall. And there's 100 Red Ink in all of Crypto Nation First Edition. The 100 Green Men in all of Wilderness. And there's only 100 of the Revive Mothman, and 50 of them are redeemable. So people are going to start scratching these. I already know a few people have been scratching them off to get the boards, right? So then over time, you're going to have, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40, something less than 50 redeemable Revive Mothmen left, which is half as many of the original printing that you had for the Sample Mothman. And because it's reserve list and they'll never print it again, what that means is that the Revive Mothman will always be, the rarest printing of the base set Winged Attack MetaZoo Mothman ever. Boom. That's it. That's why it's selling for so much money, even though it's right out of the gate. The Sample Mothman sells for anywhere between $25,000 and $100,000. It had an original print run of 100. It came out a little bit more than a year ago. And right now, a year sounds like a long time, right? Right now, a year and a half between the Sample Mothman and the Revive Mothman seems like a long time. But in 10 years, it's all base set. I mean, yeah, the samples first. Absolutely. And I know what you're going to say. A lot of the samples were lost. Totally with you on that. It's possible there are fewer than 50 Sample Mothman left. But if there's 51, Revive is rarer. Just something to think about. Now, the Unrefined Chaos Crystal, or the Chibi Chaos Crystal, is not as powerful as the original base set Chaos Crystal. It's an alternate art reprint of the Magic Cast Unrefined Chaos Crystal, right? So it's like fun, but it's not reserve list and it's not basic, but it is awesome. And the Revive skateboard, like the deck that is redeemable from the Unrefined Chaos Crystal, looks amazing. It's all chaos colors. It's got MetaZoo across the front. It's really, really cool. I have to get one so I can have it as like background bling. We've got to have it here. Now that we've done an overview of Revive and the set and the card populations and everything you can expect, let's go over to a segment. We're going to open a box of Revive, take a look at it, take a look at all the little characteristics, the security features, the cards inside, everything you want to know so you can get that full experience right in this video. Okay, so before we allow Sting to dive too deep into this product, let's examine the outside and take a look at the security features. We have always enjoyed these security features coming out of these things, like the void stickers and whatnot on the tops and bottoms and the custom shrink wrap. So it looks like we have the standard MetaZoo sort of double inked black and red or black and yellow shrink wrap on this, and there are security stickers that are custom. They say Revive Skateboards. Okay, cool. So we have a Revive sticker on one end and a Revive sticker on the other end. So that's good. So typical sort of MetaZoo security. I have some backup products over here to show you guys in case I don't pull everything amazing so I can show you all the cards. But first we'll just we'll open it up. Oh, now Sting has tasted Revive. All right, man. Let's move on to the side. So the void sticker works. It looks like once I take the shrink off, I cannot open the box without at least attempting to tamper with these void stickers. So I believe these will say 2022. They have the Crypto Nation set symbol on there. They say Revive. Yep. I like that. It's good. So if I pull this up, most likely it will actually flip to void. Yeah, see that? So even if I were to very carefully try to peel this sticker off, it switches to void, which is a very, very nice feature. Big fan of that. So we're going to pull both of these things off. Maybe we can get away with one. Hey, okay. So inside a box of Revive, you have a sealed promo card and you have a sealed promo pack. Okay? So in the pack, you can get any card. It's not necessarily the same thing that is the promo card. And the card in the pack is the not redeemable card. This is the card that does not get you a skateboard. And then this card in the separate sort of plastic wrap, this is going to be the redeemable card that can get you a skateboard. Now, the codes can be seen if you have certain types of lighting. If you take them outside, for example, you can see the code even though it's underneath a little scratch off field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger over that area. Even though MetaZoo has taken it upon themselves to make it so that in order to redeem the board, you have to actually take a picture of the card where you've totally scratched it off. So the code itself shouldn't be enough, but just in case, we're going to hold my thumb over that. So we got a pizza bird. You can see every single card in Revive is full hollow, which is cool. And this Piazza bird is a really cool guy, like taking a selfie. I'm a huge fan of this one, actually, so that's awesome. I'm going to put him again face down here. So I'm going to keep my thumb over that. And then we'll open this blind pack. So this could be, it's not a redeemable card, but it could be any one of the cards in Revive. So Piazza Bird is a common in Revive, which means there are 300 of these redeemable Piazza Birds that were made. Just 300. And this guy could be anything. Could be a boat. Boo! Hey, it's a Hodag! Hey, buddy! Cool. So you can see it does not have a redemption field down at the bottom. This is just a Hodag. But again, this is a common. It's all not in focus. There we go. It's a common in Revive. So there are 300 of these printed because by some miracle, even though common sounds common, in Revive it means it's absolutely not common because the set is just so small that that's all you have. So moving into, I thought it would be kind of cool just to show you all the cards in the set. So we're going to move Pizza Bird off to the side there and show you these are all the different commons in Revive. So you're going to have the Hodag, the Jersey Devil, the Pizza Bird, Metal Man of Alabama, and Bigfoot. Each of these was printed at 300 non-redemption cards and 300 redemption cards. Moving into the uncommons of the Revive set, you've got, now 2 of these are redemption cards, so I'll have to, let's be a little creative. Let's say, I'm going to put these out, and we're going to put a Hodag along the redemptions so that I don't have to hold my thumbs on them through this whole time. So you have a beautiful Babe, the Big Bad Blue Ox is one of them, and then you have a Frogman. These are both uncommon cards. And then your last uncommon is Sam Sinclair. So each of these was printed at a population of 150, and there's 150 of the redemption ones, and then 150 of the non-redemption. So the total per card is 300, but for each type it's 150. Now your rares in Revive are going to be your Chaos Crystal and your Mothman. So this is your unrefined Chaos Crystal or the Chibi Chaos. You can see it's very, very colorful. Costs 0, has 10 life points. You can fatigue this artifact at any time to generate 1 aura. Love this thing. The board looks amazing. If you've seen the Revive Chaos Crystal board, it is a really dope looking board. So this is the other rare of the Revive set. This is the Mothman. It was printed at a population of 50. So there are 50 of these non-redemption Mothmen. And then there are 50 of the redemption Mothmen. And that they look exactly the same, except the redemption Mothman are going to have that little redemption field down at the bottom that you can send it in for a skateboard, right? And then this guy doesn't. He's just a standard card. But still, so it's 1 of 50. This is it. This is 2% of the print run that I am holding in my hand, which is insane. In MetaZoo, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think we've seen anything like that. Now some people will say, well, yeah, but technically it's out of 100 because you have the non-redemption and the redemption one, but I don't know, man. I guess I see them as 2 very similar, slightly different variants. I personally think this one's selling for less than the redemption one. The redemption one's clearly the winner. It's going to be the most sought after, and people I think are going to see that as a 1 of 50 for the redemption and a 1 of 50 for the non-redemption because they are considered on a secondary market level different, and one's more desirable. So there you go. So there is your Revive MetaZoo Cryptid Nation base set. And of all of these cards, the thing that stands out to me is that this one is reserve list. And so all these other ones could technically be printed again. The Mothman will never be printed again. This is the last printing of the Winged Attack Cryptonation base set Mothman. My assumption is that what you're going to see long term with the Revive MetaZoo secondary market is that the unredeemed cards are going to be worth the most, followed by the standard cards, like the non-redeemable cards, followed by the redeemable cards. I think you're going to see that because the redeemed ones look fine. If you're careful with getting the code off, you don't scratch the card. As long as you're just careful and you're slow, or you know how to use the right chemical that doesn't destroy the card and doesn't take the code off as well, you can get it off without scratching the card, without causing any damage. It still looks gorgeous. It's just gorgeous with a code at the bottom. So I think they will still have value. I think if it's been used, I personally think it'll be less value than the other two Revive variants. So what are your thoughts about Revive MetaZoo? What are your thoughts about the incredibly low print run? Especially considering this is a Mothman we're talking about. You know, this issue of printing a Mothman that is, yeah, it's technically 100. There's technically 100 Revive Mothman, but really there's 50 plus 50. And once you start, scratching some codes off, that redeemable 50 starts to shrink. That's a really small number for what is clearly the superior version of the card. And if you're holding a sample Mothman and the pop for samples is technically 100, do you look at Revive and go, hey, like, that's not cool? Or do you feel fine about it? Like, I would love to know what you want to know. And this actually, we've talked about reserve list a little bit on this channel. This is something where the reserve list comes in and saves you as a collector, because now we were told last fall that Revive was the last printing of this reserve list card. We were told in advance when they announced the reserve list. So now we know going forward, this is it. So if you own reserve list cards, you never have to worry about someone in the future coming out with a newer, flashy, more rare version of that card. But if it's not reserve list, you never know. You never know when the next hottest version is going to come out, and that could have secondary market implications on those card values in your collections. Something to think about for people who are anti-reserve list. I think that's, I'd love to hear what you think. And people who are pro-reserve list, what do you think? Do you think that enters into this conversation of the new most rare version of the base set Mothman? Let me know. The comments section is your open book. Fill it with your heart. Pour your heart into the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. And that's all I've got for now. Thank you, MetaFan, for stopping by. I always appreciate this opportunity to entertain you fine peoples of MetaZoo. This is Argos, signing out.